Hi, everyone, and welcome to Listeners Beware, a podcast about all things Goosebumps. My name is Gary.
I'm Ashley.
And today we are talking about book number 23.
The Return of the Mummy. Or I guess actually it's Return of the Mummy. There's no the.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird...
Return of the Mummy.
Yeah, they ran out of space, I guess.
It costs per letter, so you got to be efficient where you can be efficient. I'll take it.
That's right. I worked in the newspaper industry. I did not.
But I imagine,
Yeah.
I mean, you think about printing because in the, book cover, you get the words, the letters are different colors than the backgrounds. So I imagine using the color contrast, each one does count. So, hey, why not save money? That's 3 letters each print.
That's true. Take that, the system.
Yeah. So Return of the Mummy.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably feels redundant too if it's like the Return of the Mummy. It's just Return of the Mummy, fools.
Well, that's true. It's like it's not the Return of the Jedi, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, sure. All right. We'll go with it. We got it. Return of the Mummy. And this was originally released September of 1994. This was another shorty, so I think it was only like 118 pages. Very quick read. Thank goodness. Now, Gary,
Yes.
would you like to give us your synopsis or the synopsis?
I would love to. I'll do it, dead or alive. After last year's scary adventure, Gabe's a little nervous about being back in Egypt, back near the ancient pyramids, back where he saw all those creepy mummies. Then he learns about an Egyptian superstition, a secret chant that is supposed to bring mummies back to life. Gabe's uncle says it's just a hoax, but now it sounds like something's moving in the mummy's tomb. No way a couple of dumb words could wake the dead. Can they?
I mean, anybody that's watched horror movies knows, like, words do it all. I mean, we've got Evil Dead, which, the book, the Necronomicon? Oh, I'm messing it up. It's a mouthful.
It is.
So you've got that, and they're like, oh, we read a book, or let's go wholesome, Hocus Pocus, Dumb Virgin reads from a book. So words are powerful.
They are.
And you can't just be reading things out willy-nilly, or in this case, reciting things in a language you don't really know.
Right. I mean, that feels like pretty basic knowledge, but, I don't know. Maybe Gabe didn't watch as many movies as I did.
It happens so much.
It does.
So much in movies, especially horror movies. And, it's appropriate. This is supposed to be like a horror-ish world. Now, I'm just going to jump in and say this is very much like the first one, where most of it has nothing to do with spooky. Yeah. It's a kid on an Indiana Jones adventure getting lost in tombs and, being heckled by his cousin along the way.
Yay. More heckling.
More heckling from Sari.
Yes. We had a whole discussion about name pronunciation before the call here. And we said it wrong the entire time last time. We were saying sorry, but it's Sari.
I mean, okay, to be fair. And I'm going to make an excuse for us because I think it's appropriate. In the first one, we don't know any of their origins. We just know Uncle Ben is working in Egypt and he's an archaeologist. They don't give us last names. We know Uncle Ben, we know Sari, we know Gabe.
Yeah.
And so for us, we just kind of have to go with the best pronunciation that we can think of. Sari, that's not really a traditional like American name. So we reach for the word that we tend to know, which for me, that's the Indian base, right? Sari, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in this book, we're given more. We're given more origins. So we now know that like Uncle Ben is actually Ben Hassad.
Yes.
And then Gabe gives us more background that he and Sari, there we go. Whatever, I'll get it. He and Sari are both Egyptian as well.
Mm-hmm.
So context is everything. In the first book, we didn't know that. We just know Gabe's from America. He's visiting his uncle, who's an archaeologist, studying in Egypt.
Yep.
And so, yeah, all right, cool. This one, we learned their last name is Hassad, and they're Egyptian, so we can actually Google the pronunciation of Sari.
That's right. So we got there.
Yeah, we got there. Yeah. And I do like we were given more background. right? Because I think even in the first one, they didn't give us a description of Gabe, right? It was just he's just like this 12-year-old boy, and he's kind of lanky, but Sari, I'm gonna get it by the end of this episode. Sari is taller than him, she's faster than him, she's quicker than him.
She's
So
better in
in
every way.
no, pretty much. And in this one, we are actually given more. We're given a description of Gabe. We now know, he tells us he's Egyptian, although, and he tells us, given Ben and Seti's last name Hassad, he also says they're all Egyptian, and he describes Seti with that long, thick black hair, always braided. So we're given more.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like the original is one of the least descriptive in terms of the characters, and I don't know if he was just filling out pages for this one, or if there was some sort of like, hey, can you give us more about these characters?
It might be too that he was trying to be a bit more sensitive. If you have people that are Egyptian going into these tombs and opening, tombs that belong to mummies that were pharaohs and princes and, kings and stuff like that, I think it's a little more sensitive when people from Egypt are doing that versus like, look at these Americans going in. The prince, Koru, says he doesn't want to be disturbed, and here this guy goes in and like, I do what I want.
Yep.
Typical Americans.
Typical Yankee Doodle.
Yeah, but I think in this case, maybe he gave them that background so that it was a little bit more acceptable.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that being part
Because
of
let's
the process.
be real, Ben's pretty ignorant in the first one.
Yeah.
He's like, I got this lucky mummy's hand that I got at a garage sale. And, they're literally like desecrating these sacred spaces. I believe in the first one, Seti even hides in a tomb.
Yeah.
And like jumps out to scare Gabe. So it's like they're being pretty disrespectful,
Right.
culturally speaking, of these sacred spaces. So maybe, I don't know, maybe RL walked it back a bit.
Yeah.
By adding that background. I don't know if that makes it any better though. Like it's still a desecration, but who knows?
I'm not mad at the extra explanation. I'm glad we got it.
Realistically, it makes sense.
Yeah.
For Gabe and Seti. I mean, any 12-year-old, I don't care who you are. I guess they're 13 now in this book, but any 13-year-old is going to see this as an adventure and like, yeah, woo, jump in the tomb and all these jewels and riches and mummies. Like,
yeah.
What 13-year-old do you know goes in somewhere and is like, guys, we should be very respectful of the secret space. Like, it exists, but
this is someone's grave, guys. Let's be respectful.
Yeah, like adventure tends to win out for a lot of kids at that age.
Yeah, for sure. I think it would have for me too. Like I can't really stand here all high and mighty, like because I'm an adult reading a kid's book. I'm like, yeah, I have to divorce my adult self and be like, yeah, I would probably do the same thing.
I mean, even as an adult, I mean, you think about people that go to Egypt now, they take pictures inside of the tombs and inside of the pyramids. And I'm not judging. Like, they're amazing, and the architecture and everything about it is just phenomenal. So absolutely, it makes sense that people would want to take photos and take pictures of themselves in there. But realistically, I mean, that's like taking a picture in a cemetery of yourself, like say cheese right in front of a tombstone. Like,
right.
It doesn't happen as much because we kind of displaced from that. Pyramids and Egyptian tombs and mummies really aren't the world that we grew up in. So to us, we're like, wow, look at this archaeological find. And thanks, Indiana Jones, for making an adventure of it for us. So that's how we kind of compartmentalize it. Whereas if someone's like, hey, you want to go take selfies in the cemetery? It would be like, what?
I do not. But yeah.
You want to do what? You want ghosts? That's how you get ghosts. So.
Yeah.
We're digressing a bit, but I think it's, it's all fun.
It's an important topic, I think. Like, I mean, the respect versus desecration thing was definitely something that was on my mind as I was reading this. So, and also I think it's kind of a note that he's pushing between Ben and the other gentleman who we meet later.
Dr. Fielding.
Yeah, Dr. Fielding. There's sort of a dynamic there of, is this right or is this wrong to be doing what we're doing? So.
Absolutely. And Dr. Fielding's stance is, hey, his last wish, this Prince Koru that we know of, is let me rest in peace.
Yeah.
So we need to respect that. And Uncle Ben's like, but this is such an important find. This is such a historical, archaeological find mixed with a little bit of glory from being the first one to find this. And I mean, I'm sure everybody has been there. You want to be the first in your field to
Yeah.
find something, and that's exciting. However, to your point, you have the angel Dr. Fielding on the shoulder, like, but he said he wanted to rest in peace.
Right.
I mean, bringing it back to the cemetery kind of analogy, it'd be like, hey, let's open up that family tomb, that mortuary over there. I just want to see what's inside. It's never been open before. Let's do it.
Yeah.
People will be like, excuse me, what are you doing? Like, in the book, he's literally prying off a gold seal from the doors. So this thing has been sealed closed.
Yeah.
Because this prince is like, I want to rest in peace in the afterlife. And he's like, let me get this gold seal off this door. Oh, wait, empty room. Oh, wait, there's another one. Let me get this gold seal off the second door. Like, could you imagine if that was done here? Because you go to cemeteries and how many endless family mortuaries there are that the gates are locked. And if someone's like, let's just pry that padlock off, we gotta see what's inside. And then furthermore, they open the mummy's tomb. Furthermore, it's like, and by the way, let's crack this marble wall and pull out the casket and see what's inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
People would lose their shit.
100%.
But it's your science, guys.
Right. Science. And the glory.
Perspective's everything.
Right. 100. Yeah, I agree. And
again, I'm not judging. I understand, archaeological finds are important. You can learn a lot. And I know, especially when it comes to pyramids, people are still trying to figure out how the hell were those made. They're like ancient civilizations and aliens. And guys, it was the aliens. But so I know that there is a specific element people are trying to learn from. But also I think people are just curious as hell. They're like, wait, you did what to that body? We got to dig it up.
Right.
We got to open that up and peel back the layers. And it's like you are literally unwrapping a dead body that was buried for sacred purposes.
Yeah. That's, I don't know. Yeah. I see both sides of this debate, but I don't.
Same.
I'm just glad I don't have to deal with it.
I mean, I was an anthropology major and archaeology was a subsection I did have to take a few classes as graduate, requirements were. But man, that's one that I struggled with, that you can learn a lot from history. Absolutely. And studying bodies can be important. You can learn a lot about diseases and how those things have evolved and how people have evolved and how we continue to evolve. And that's important to learn, for future trajectory. However, there is a sacred element that kind of gets passed over with that. Like our thirst for knowledge and science kind of overruns a sacred element.
Right.
That, is something to be considered. It can't always be helped.
It's true.
But especially, I'm digressing here. I'm going to go on an Ashley tangent.
Yay.
It's tangential hour. Tangential time. I'm going to bore the hell out of the listeners. But, that stuff becomes important when you find mass graves. When it's like, holy cow, there's a grave with 400 bodies in there. What the heck happened?
Right.
Or a whole civilization disappears and then you find a mass grave and it's like, okay, we should study those, which requires digging up.
Yep.
It requires analysis to make sure that doesn't happen again. If possible, or to figure out what in the world happened. I mean, that kind of stuff is important. That's honestly, digging up things is how we learn what kind of catastrophes can occur. So.
Right. Someone should have been digging up the graves on Ghost Beach, figure that shit out.
Figure that shit out. The ghosts would not have allowed it.
No. But no, this is fascinating. Arguably, what you're saying fascinates me more than this book ever did. But
It wouldn't take much to over fascinate the book, so to compete on that level.
Yeah. This is why I've always I like the idea of studying history and studying ancient things and things of that nature. But that's why I've always leaned more towards paleontology, because to me it feels like less of an invasion of human privacy. I guess it's still sort of an invasion of dinosaur privacy, but
They don't count.
They lost their rights years ago.
They lost it to the meteorite.
Yeah.
Or meteor.
Yes.
I mean, even that story was pretty cool, how they discovered a meteor was the cause of that. But that required geological digs and, really analyzing the chemistry of each level of those. And I mean, I'm a nerd. I dig that stuff. Ha ha ha. Ha. But it's not for everybody. It's not everybody's cup of tea. And
No.
I mean, I feel like at some point it is necessary to an extent, but it's definitely walking a fine line of respecting sacred spaces and needing to find an answer to things.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Although I do feel like a lot of people do it just for fun, which is the excitement of it. I mean, even Uncle Ben, he's more excited about, hey, this is something no one's found before. I'm going to be the first. To me, that's more of like his reputation he's excited to build versus what he's going to learn from it.
Right. Yeah. So. And there's something to be said for the thrill of the hunt too. So,
I mean, 3 Haunted Jr., a lot of people, when you ask them, why do you investigate paranormal activity? What is it that drives you? A lot of people don't know. Or they're like, well, it's just exciting. It's the thrill.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're going to go rile up these potential spirits that you believe exist just for the thrill.
I don't think it's too thrilling for them, but maybe they enjoy, fucking with the living. I don't know.
I mean, we've had a guest come in and say, you know what? I do it because I think maybe they're lonely and they just want to tell their story to somebody. So I want to give them that outlet. And I'm like, man, that's a great answer. Not that I'm there to validate people's answers, but
yeah, that's a really nice and selfless, although, wink, response.
Yeah. It was very thoughtful. They're like, yeah, I like to go in there and just ask them about themselves. Like, what was your favorite music? What do you enjoy? What did you enjoy in life? Is there something I can bring to you? And I'm like, really? They're like, yeah. If I know that like a spirit enjoyed something, I'll try and bring it in. Maybe it's their favorite song. Maybe it's their favorite whatever, and just kind of give them that. And I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool. You're like a spiritual therapist. You're like a ghost therapist.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let me help you out, bro. You're stuck here. Let me give you some enjoyment in afterlife.
Yeah, some afterlife slice of the afterlife. I don't know.
I'm like, I'm down with that. That's cool.
And also probably earning some brownie points for if you get stuck in purgatory.
And if there are spirits at those locations, I mean, they're probably appreciative. Like, he walks in the door and they're like, yo, it's our homie. What's up, bro? Someone else walks in. Hey, I bet you can't touch this. And then they're like, you're right, because I won't.
Yeah. Yep.
Not for you.
Yeah. Well, I guess we have to talk about the book now. All right. I mean,
so
cards on the table. If you haven't listened to our original episode, we didn't love it.
Not the first one. Don't love the second one.
No. I think this one gets into the mummy stuff a little earlier and gives us a little more of that, which I appreciate, but it's still not a Goosebumps, It's more it's less espionage, it's less spy shenanigans, I feel like, but
it definitely has more of the supernatural element, given what we learn about Neela. I mean, you got this, spoiler alert, 4,000-year-old princess walking around, and she's like, I turn into a scarab every night, and then like crawl into my necklace, which begs a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Does she have a house?
Mhm.
Does she like crawl into her necklace in her house? And like, what if there's a fire? Does she wake up the next day like, what the hell happened to my house? Like, I don't know. It's just, I have so many questions.
Yeah. And why is my ambered necklace so hot?
Now, I will say I feel like RL went through an Indiana Jones phase, because he knows a lot about Egyptian history. We get stuff where like we get glimpses of what his passion is. Like we learned a lot about bees that we didn't know about. And some stories he gives you a lot of details to the point where it's like, this is something you're personally interested in, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I feel like the Mummy books are that. He is interested in Egyptian history because the way he describes the pyramids, he goes really in. And even the little touches, the nuances. So people may not realize when they're reading this, especially 12-year-olds, although who knows, kids are very smart nowadays. But amber is actually still a very much sacred element and material, even in the crystal community. So it's not as common that people can get amber specimens to sell, but when they do have it, people like snap it up. Amber is supposed to have a lot of sacred properties. So to see that reflected in the book, I'm like, dang girl, you kind of know your shit a little.
Yeah. See, and here, me, the layperson who doesn't understand crystals and all of that stuff, I was like, is he referencing Jurassic Park? You know, because like I said, Mr. Dinosaur over here, you know, I mean, because that's sort of the plot device of that is that the mosquitoes, you know, trapped in amber. And maybe it's a bit of both. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that he researches a lot, honestly. And in the stuff he's interested in, the stuff he glazes over and just kind of throws random things in and makes up his own stuff is still creative and innovative. But I feel like in this one, he really did touch on things that are legitimate. So it's like, huh.
Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff he gets fast and loose with is the supernatural stuff.
But you know, ghost zombies.
It's his prerogative. Plant zombies.
It's my prerogative. You can do what you want to do. The thing I like is that I feel he kind of missed on a bit. That was, he talked about the summoner, the mummy hand from the first one that Gabe still has. He talked about that always being warm.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting because that actually could apply to the amber too. Amber is actually, it's considered like a gem, but it's really not. It's a soft material. But it is used for cleansing and renewal. It's supposed to embody like ancient energy, but it also is supposed to have natural warmth to it. So when he was describing the mummy's hand as that, I'm like, you know, that's amber too, right?
Wow. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. Supposedly amber is like really good for pain and inflammation, and like that's why people in the, you know, new age worlds really like to get their hands on amber, and it's supposed to help with like anxiety and fatigue. But honestly, there's so many stones out there that they say that for, that I'm like, it just applies to all. You can literally throw a dart and be like, hey, guess what, that helps with anxiety and fatigue, and it's like so do these 100 other things. It's what you connect to.
Right Yeah, not necessarily one size fits all in that department. Yeah.
The only thing that threw me off is like amber is supposed to clear out stagnant energy, and it's supposed to be a positive energetic reinforcement. And then you have someone who's not positive, like, you know, Miss Princess, what is it, Neela?
Yeah.
Princess Neela. She's not a positive figure. So the fact she is able to make a home in the amber, I'm like, well, that's weird. Shouldn't it reject her? I don't know.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, that makes me wonder, because there's a part in the book where the summoner goes cold, and that's touched on, but I don't think it's ever resolved. And I wonder if that's tied to her negative energy.
It like shuts down around her.
Yeah.
It's possible, because the summoner wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It's, you know, supposed to be a magical artifact. And it does make you wonder, when it goes cold, is it because she is present? And it's like, we ain't gonna be magical around her.
Oh, hell no. Yeah.
Hell no. Walk away, Gabe.
And I mean, honestly, it is a magical token, talisman or whatever, because it helped, it saved their asses in the first book, and they don't even remember it. They're like, oh, it's superstition. It's like, you idiots.
So if I recall correctly, Uncle Ben was knocked out the entire time it was working.
Correct.
And he
Yeah.
didn't really come to. So for him, he's not aware.
Mhm.
And so nobody believed him. But Seti should have remembered because she was present when that happened. So I'm kind of surprised that glossed over. But they do hint at her fear of mummies
Right.
in this one. So I think she does remember it. She just won't acknowledge it because she's like, I'm rough and tough and I don't believe in weird shit.
Yeah. I mean that, I feel like she is the one who's somewhat critical of it at first, though. And it's like, girl, you'd be dead if it weren't for that mummy hand.
Right? I do like they don't make her 2000% obnoxious, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that one scene really makes a difference where she pulls Gabe aside and she's like, hey, I'm worried about my dad. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm giving you such a hard time, but real talk, I'm worried about my dad. I'm worried what happens if the room's empty. He's so excited. And like, I really like that RL chose to include that because she could have continued to be like this little semi-bully. And instead, you know, one, she's self-aware.
Right.
Like, yeah, I know I'm giving you grief. Apologies. And I'm worried about my dad.
Yeah. That was a nice touch. That was one of my favorite scenes, and I'm glad that it was included too. Just, I mean, it helps humanize, you know, her more, or humble her, I guess.
Even the little glimpse that they give us with the fact that she doesn't get to see her dad much helps. You kind of understand maybe why she's so tough, because she has to be at a boarding school almost year round and she only gets to see her dad a few weeks throughout the year. And it's like, oh, that's rough. And she only has her dad because her mom died when she was little. So it's like, okay, I see why you have to be such a, you know, prickly little guarded cactus because that's rough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Boarding school kids are tough.
Yeah.
I mean, and I feel like maybe I'm misremembering because it has been a while, but I feel like in the first book, it was sort of implied that she lived in Egypt also. So like hearing that she's in a boarding school in Chicago or wherever he said, that kind of does add more complexity to her character.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just assumed it. I'm not sure they actually told us her background. It's just, hey, I'm going to visit them.
Right.
And so one would assume, oh, they're together, they live there, but who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know how much they deviated or changed the storyline from the first one, to be honest. So I would probably have to revisit the first book to see if he like completely switched things up on us.
And here's the thing. I'm not
reading it again. We're good. We're solid.
And we are agreed.
So we learn that Dr. Fielding is Uncle Ben's partner because they have investors that are funding this dig, which that's realistic. Digs usually have to be funded privately, for those that don't know. The government gives you grants, but the real funding comes from usually external companies. So they've got to be responsible to their investors. And Dr. Fielding is, you know, Dr. Hassad, Uncle Ben keeps referencing he doesn't trust his partner. Red herring.
Yep.
This whole time we think it's going to be a repeat of the first book where the other guy who was his like right-hand guy becomes, you know, villain. So it's like, oh no.
Right.
Dr. Fielding's a bad guy. Recycled content. RL fooled us. It wasn't recycled. We've got like Dr. Fielding who's ominous, like, you shouldn't disturb him. And they get into a shouting match on the ethics of opening this tomb. But Uncle Ben wins out and opens the tomb anyways.
Yeah, I mean, there are things I liked about this book. Probably more things I liked about this book than the first one. Like certain scenes stand out to me, like where, you know, Dr. Fielding comes out of the tomb after Uncle Ben is in there and the kids don't know where he is and he's dragging his feet. And it's like, wait, is he a mummy? Like, you know, there was some good story twists happening in there.
Yeah, and I feel like Dr. Fielding's probably the most realistic character out of them all because even when he leaves after screaming at Uncle Ben, he comes back with cops later.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, whoa, what's going on? Are they taking over? And then it's like, no, he's like, well, if you're going to open the tomb anyways, we got to make sure it's guarded because there's mummies and artifacts and
Mm-hmm.
jewels and treasure. And so we got to protect it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. You should have security.
Yeah. Yeah. And presumably other grave robbers might get word of this and, try to show up and take some things too. So,
Yeah, especially when you have Neela, who's supposedly working for the local Cairo newspaper, or was it a TV station or whatever it was, press,
yeah.
actively on site. She's going to report back, hey, the tomb is open. And
Mm.
so it's like, yeah, we probably should kind of keep things secure. And I'm like, yeah, that's legit, Dr. Fielding. You're like, I lost the battle, but I'm still going to help. I'm still going to do the appropriate, responsible thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's a part of me that, because of the first book and how the double cross happened there, I was like, are these police officers or are they like, a group of criminals doing their thing? Like, there was some good little yarns in there.
Yeah, it was fun. Very good adventure book.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're all celebrating with Neela, and you feel badly. Hindsight, looking back, Neela and Uncle Ben are being like flirty, and they seem to actually be connecting.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, she's wicked. Aw.
4,000 years, she still got game.
Apparently so. She's like, I need to get in there. And we find that she walks him into telling her the words
Mm-hmm.
to activate the tomb, which realistically, shouldn't she have known that already? Like, I think they said it was written on the entrance, and if she's 4,000 years old, she should have been able to read that and know that.
Yeah, right? That's a good point.
Like, sure, I knew that, but, the implication is Gabe says it 6 times, and so therefore it's his fault, but realistically it was her. She took the summiter
Mm-hmm.
and said the words after cold cocking Uncle Ben.
Right.
And shoving him in a mummy's tomb. And
yeah, at least it'll alleviate some of Gabe's guilt.
I guess, although he may still think it was him.
Probably.
His words that did it. But yeah, she's bad.
She's bad news. She's bad news.
She's trying to reactivate her brother.
Mm-hmm.
Which, okay, family. And that's the thing. It could have gone 2 ways. It could have been, I just want to be back with my brother and yay, family. And then she wouldn't have maybe been as villainous. But the fact that she's like, we're going to rule and take over the world. It's like, okay.
Yep. Yeah. You just became a Power Rangers villain.
Did you need your brother for that, though? Like, I don't know if you noticed. He's a mummy.
Right.
He's wrapped in bandage and he can't walk very well.
Mm-mm.
So what you gonna do?
Honestly, yeah, she had a better chance of taking over the world by herself. I mean, she's got all this knowledge from, thousands of years of living.
Like, the way Gabe described her, he had a crush on her. Like, dude, you're sexy.
Mm-hmm.
You got a knowledge of 4,000 years. I don't think you need your brother.
No. Use those feminine wiles. And,
yeah, right. And like you did on Uncle Ben.
Right. If you can charm Uncle Ben, you can charm anybody.
Right? But, we learn that this entire time, Uncle Ben and Dr. Fielding were actually suspicious of Neela. Like, how did she know they were about to open the tomb? And how did she know there were 6 words that you had to say? And they're suspicious. And I'm like, okay, well, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Yeah, like she knocked him out.
Yeah.
And Dr. Fielding went to go get help. But it's just like, how did she not also take out Dr. Fielding?
I don't know. The implication is that she hurt him somehow, but I don't know if he just like fell into a shadow and then snuck away. But
apparently, because he's so tall and skinny.
Yeah.
He just kind of stepped back into the corner and she's like, nobody's there. I don't know.
It's like that. I think it was the Family Guy joke where there's a character and then they turn sideways and you can't see them like that. That's the
he's
impression
that
I get of that guy. Yeah.
Because it's just like, I just forgot conveniently he was present.
More like Dr. Fooled him.
Dr. Fooled him. So, it's interesting that, the character that you think is supposed to be the villain, this mummy, is actually not.
No.
because he wakes up and he is hella pissed that they woke him up. He's like, I literally told y'all to let me sleep in peace.
That was my
That's
last request.
That's all I said. He's even mad at his sister.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, she thought, like, she's like, get the kids, kill him. And it's like, whoa. And instead, he turns around and goes to choke his sister out.
Yeah.
He's like, I told you to let me sleep.
Mm-hmm. He's like Scarface. He's like, I don't kill kids.
I don't kill kids. I don't kill kids. You want to play rough? But
I kill you, bitch.
Yeah. I mean, he literally went to choke a bitch.
He's
like, you woke me up. You did not respect me. I don't care if you're my sister.
Yeah.
You've lived 4,000 years. Time to end it.
Yep. That was intense. I actually like this finale quite a bit. Like from the time that Ben and Fielding go into the cave till the end of the book, like I was on board, but unfortunately that's about 15 pages.
It was a fun finale, but definitely very, very short portion of the book.
Yeah.
I do love that the prince is like, because I feel that. If someone wakes me up and I don't want to be awake, I'm going to choke a bitch too. But it's just like, he went to choke her, and even though they know she's a bad guy, they know she's a villain, they know she's like trying to get them killed, Gabe still tries to help her because that is the innocence of children. Mm-hmm. And inadvertently like crushes her life.
Whoops.
He breaks the amber necklace on complete accident, which is true. Amber's very soft. Mm-hmm. So it falling, it shattered into a lot of pieces. Very true to Amber. And she's like, no, my life. I'm melting.
Yeah.
And she turns back into a scarab.
And should have stepped on her, I guess.
I mean, that would be too violent for Goosebumps books, but it definitely crossed my mind. Mm-hmm. Or it would have been hilarious if like Dr. Fielding ran in to help and accidentally stepped on the scarab. Crunch. And I'd be like, oops. Oh, there she goes. Yeah. Bye, Neela.
Bye, Neela the scarab.
No more creepy crawly for you. So there's that. Mm-hmm. And of course, RL likes to leave it on a little creepy note. So everybody's happy. Everyone's kind of wrapping things up, and he's in bed or something. And then he's like, what's that crawling on me? Ouch.
Yep.
Which is incredibly morbid because at the beginning they tell you if you get bit by a scarab, it's like death. It means death for you. Yeah. And so the implication is that's probably Neela. Mm-hmm. And it bit him.
I kind of love it. Like this is...
She's like, bye-bye, Gabe.
Yeah. This is what you get for smashing my home.
Now get you, homie.
Yeah, I kind of like the ending here. I mean, it's arguably one of the darkest endings I think we've had, given that implication. Now, maybe it was just Seti pinching him again, like she did earlier in the book, but I think it was probably...
Or it was a scorpion.
It could be a scorpion.
I'd rather be bitten by a scorpion than a scarab.
True.
So, with that said, because she was a scarab, that the amber allowed her to have a human form and then return as a scarab and sleep every night for 4,000 years, I'm assuming the amber is what allowed her to transform to human and then back to scarab.
Yeah, that makes
sense. And when
the
amber destroyed, she could only be a scarab. Now, with that said, Gabe has a necklace with a scarab in it. Mm-hmm. So who's in his necklace?
Yeah. Hey, Gabe, who are you wearing?
Who are you wearing?
It's like the red carpet that no one wants.
Like, who is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it someone? Maybe it's King Tut. Who knows?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I would think so. And there's even a point in the book where he talks about it feels like, something's moving around in the necklace, or he feels tickling or something. So I don't know who that is.
Honestly, I think that might have been Neela crawling on him.
Oh.
Because when he turned on the light, it was still in the necklace.
Right.
But he did feel something wiggling on him near the necklace. So I kind of wonder if it was Neela like checking out to see who is that in there.
Yeah. Huh.
Do I know that scarab?
Oh, man. What if it's...
Fancy meeting you here.
This is a dark thought, but what if it's Ben's former wife? Why would she be a scarab? I don't know. I'm just trying to think like, who's dead in this book?
Maybe it's an ancestor of theirs, and that's why it protects them. I
Could
don't
be.
know. It's
Yeah.
just curious because
Yeah.
she may have been the exception. Maybe she's the only scarab that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but
Right.
it's a question. I had so many questions about this.
Egyptian princess power.
Egyptian princess power. Go, go, Power Rangers.
Power scarabs. Yeah, a lot of questions. This one does not. Well, we'll circle back to that.
I had so many things I wanted to bring up too that I forgot. Like as
Mhm.
I started to read the book, and I'm like, I should probably take notes, and then now look.
I know. Yeah, I was laying in bed reading this one, so I didn't have my pen and pad with me to really record the thoughts. But I do feel like there were several just like loose threads that kind of either didn't go somewhere or they were just unsatisfactorily left alone. And it's like the cold summoner hand. What's the deal? I don't get it.
And for this being a short book, I do feel like he tried to throw in a lot of random scenes to fill the pages, like the TV crew
Right.
that was filming a commercial there, and the guy's dressed as a mummy, and that scared them. And it's like, bah, ha, ha, ha. I told them to stick around and scare you guys. Like, you never hear about the TV crew again. And there were a lot of filler scenes that, yes, they're fun, but didn't really propel the story forward.
Right. I mean, sometimes they just serve chapter break plot hanger, like that's
pretty much.
And that's what I'm seeing with a lot of his books sometimes. It's just like, what can I do to have a pause here that I can throw a chapter break into?
Leave them on suspense and then turn the page. Oh, yeah, it was nothing. Like how many times?
Yeah. In this one, about 27.
It's like jump scares. He's writing in jump scares. And then
Yeah.
he's like, just kidding, it was a dream.
Right.
So how did you feel about the TV episode?
I didn't. No, it was
It was
fine.
interesting to see a young, I don't remember his name, but I remember him from Mean Girls. And the only thing I can even like, anytime I see that actor, it doesn't matter what he's in, all I can think about is, do you want your muffin buttered or whatever? And it's just like, I can never not unhear that line. It's the most atrocious. That's the same actor. And so seeing him, I was just like, look at you as a little pipsqueak.
I kept looking at him like, this kid is familiar. But then I apparently didn't care enough to look into it. But
Mean Girls.
Yeah, Mean Girls. Go figure.
He also did, I think, quite a bit on Are You Afraid of the Dark, I believe.
Okay. That makes sense.
Which that was my show. I loved Are You Afraid of the Dark? So
yeah. I feel like it was the better version of Goosebumps, but there was also less writing on it, so maybe it wasn't that much better. I don't know.
It was a little hard to watch him in this because I do feel like he was speaking in the cadence and pitch that a lot of kids acted in.
Yeah.
In the 90s, very like pushing with your voice and borderline whiny. And that's not how he speaks as a person because we've seen him in other movies and that's just not his voice. So I feel like that was like the acting class. Like they walked in and they're like, all right, guys, so we're going to push with our voice and we're going to be kind of whiny because this is what we do when we deliver lines. Like it gets to be a bit much.
It does. I was thinking as the episode started, is this the first one where we've had like a first person narration?
I honestly don't recall.
Yeah, I don't remember that happening at any other point in the books. And I thought that like it actually kind of worked since the books themselves are being narrated in the first person 95% of the time.
It was effective because I think he's writing in a journal, right? So we're able to get the first person narration because he's sitting there writing in a journal.
Yeah. And that's a good way to tie up a lot of threads that you don't want to get into, right? Like you can kind of just jump straight into the adventure. And things were definitely changed in this one, especially at the end, but they did a good job of kind of getting us from point A to point B. And then point B was a little bit of a mess.
As a standalone, it's fine.
Yeah.
However, my gaping problem with this is this should have just been called The Tomb of the Mummy or The Mummy's Tomb versus Return of the Mummy, because this entire TV episode acted as though he hadn't experienced the previous book at all.
Yeah.
So how this was a return of the mummy, because the whole notion of the title is he's already encountered a mummy, right? And had his adventure of like walking mummies. So the second book is, hey, we got a return of another mummy. It's a different mummy, but it's still a mummy.
Right.
And so this idea that we're calling the TV episode that, but then acting as though the previous book didn't exist, it didn't happen in the TV episode. It's like, how is this a return of the mummy? Because you haven't met a mummy yet. So
yeah, that's a solid point. I mean, unless it's just vague brushstrokes here, the mummy's return to life. But it's still, that's not the implication.
But the mummy was never alive before, so how did it return as a mummy? I don't know, like semantics, but it just, I feel like they just should have given it a different title.
They should have.
I'm fine with them because there wasn't a TV episode for the first one. So I would be fine if they just wanted to start from scratch in this one and act like, or even do what we've seen in some of the other ones where they kind of merge it, right? Like they merge the stories together. Like that would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
However, then let's not call it Return of the Mummy. Let's just call it something else. The Mummy's Tomb, or, I don't even know. Just something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unveiling the Mummy. I don't know.
Ooh, I like that. That's
yeah.
Good. Yeah.
With this premise that, the mummy's returning, or him experiencing another mummy, and then them referencing nothing in that nature. I mean, they even rewrote the idea of the summoner.
Right.
In the books, he got it from a garage sale. Like this kid's like, it's a mummy's hand. And he's like, I don't think so, but sure.
Right.
And in this one, he's like, oh, I just bought it at the airport. So this is like brand new, fresh, right? Mm-hmm. He has no idea what it's capable of. He doesn't know what it does. So it's kind of mixing the first book with the second book a little bit.
Yeah.
It's new to him, the mummy's hand or the summoner. Whereas in the book, he's like, this is my good luck charm. It helped save me from the previous mummy. And so it's got a history with it, right? And so, yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I think the secret would have been to do an amalgamation of both and just call it something different.
Yeah.
And it's weird that they did not do an episode for the first book.
I don't think there was enough spooky in the first one. At least this had a bit more supernatural that they could play with and embellish. Mm-hmm. The first one was so limited. I think it was maybe 2 pages where the mummy came back to life.
Yeah, yeah.
So this, I think, had a bit more meat on it for them to embellish into like spooky goosebumps.
Right. Right. And I mean, they've been known to change the name. So yeah, just call it the Mummy's Tomb. Like that's all it takes, guys.
We saw it with Monster Blood where they had the whole airplane episode.
Right.
Had nothing to do with like the actual books, but they called it Monster Blood. Like, that's fine. Do that. Mummy's Tomb. Woo, got it.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, just in terms of episodes, this one was, I mean, it wasn't the worst, but there was a certain point where I sort of checked out and I just never got back on board.
Yeah. I don't think I was ever truly on board. I tried to consistently check myself, like watch it with the eyes of someone who is 13.
Yeah.
Don't be as critical to compare it to the book. Like, could this stand okay alone on its own? And I think it could. Mm-hmm. They had fun with it. If we're talking about in terms of comparing to the book, I like the book better. Even so much, there's the buildup of them opening the tomb. They know where it's at. They're going to open it. Versus this one where they accidentally stumbled upon it.
Right. Right.
And it was it was Gabe who found it. And it's like, no, don't take that away from Uncle Ben. He worked so hard.
I know. He put his whole life into this.
Yeah. He lost his wife because of this. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, quite possibly. She was bitten by a scarab.
As a standalone, I think it's fine. I think they had fun with it. As because I think even, and we've run into this before in the books, the kids have more leeway in their aggression and like their accidental disposing of creatures. So like in Welcome to Dead House, they knock over the tree and all the things melt.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call them, zombie ghosts.
Right.
In this one, in the book, it's Gabe who ultimately gets rid of Neela accidentally, but she doesn't even die really. Like the scarab is still there, but he gets rid of her human form. And we see in the TV episode, it's the mummy who breaks her necklace and then she disappears. It's her brother. So they're once again having to be, tread lightly on what violence or act of fatality is being driven by children.
Right.
That's my assumption anyways.
I think so too. Yeah. I do find it weird that these one-parters tend to be better than the two-parters. It's like with the two-parters, they have too much time. And I think I'd rather them not have enough time than too much time. That's what I'm kind of realizing as we go through this journey, is that when there's not enough time, they omit things, but at least they kind of stick closer to the book. When you give them 44 minutes, suddenly there's a whole episode with a monster game show. It's like,
Well, these books are short reads. They're quick reads. And so to flesh that out into an hour-long 2-part program, you just don't have enough meat for that in these books. And that's just reality. But yeah, I'm with you. When they have to parse it down, that they really have to have discretion on what they're pulling out. And it does, I feel, I agree with you. It lands more when they're forced to have discretion versus, well, we have ample time. Let's just figure it out. Like they suddenly start throwing pins at the wall and see what sticks. And it's like, no, you don't need a monster game show. Like that's not, we don't need that scene.
We need some fake commercials. Although,
because why not?
I did love that part, but God, what a bonkers show.
I mean, we loved these as kids. I enjoyed watching Goosebumps episodes on TV. I loved reading the books as they came out. So definitely, it still lands, I'm sure, with the younger audience. But it's funny how much we catch as adults now because we are comparing. I think as kids, you don't compare.
Right.
You read the book, it's its own world. You watch a TV episode, it's its own world. It's like we have that little child ADD of, not really ADD, but like we have the squirrel memory of, oh, love the book. Let's see what the TV episode has. And we're excited about it. We're not comparing, right?
Right.
But then as adults, we're like, what the hell? That was not even close to the book. What's wrong with you?
That was a choice.
And to the credit of the production companies, we are watching these in close proximity of reading them. As kids, we read them long before we watched them on television. Usually it was like a year prior or whatever.
Right.
So the memory there isn't, close association. We're not going to pick it apart as much as kids because, one, it was a while before, the TV episode was produced. So it's like, all right, it's not like we are, let me reread this before I watch it. And we are watching these within 24 hours of reading them, probably, if you're like me.
Yeah, I am. It's like, as a kid, you were like, all right, Goosebumps starts at 10:30 a.m. Let me get up at 8, and I'm going to read, let me check the TV guide. Okay, this is Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. Let me read this book, and then I'll watch the episode immediately after. Like, what kid did that? I'm sure someone did, but it wasn't me.
Most of them didn't. So... because usually you woke up at 8 a.m. to watch Ninja Turtles and then Batman and then Goosebumps.
You know it. I was too busy.
Yep, too busy consuming television. So, I don't know. I think that it's probably doing a disservice, us reading it so close. But I do like to compare to see what did they change and did it work. Because we found a couple where we're like, yeah, it deviated, but it worked. And in this case, yes, it deviated, but outside of the title, it kind of worked.
Kind of, yeah.
Still an adventure book and TV episode.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing to remember is that well before he was writing Goosebumps or horror stuff, period, R.L. Stine was doing Choose Your Own Adventures Indiana Jones books. So like
It shows.
this really reads, pun intended. And he
Bah.
also was doing G.I. Joe. So like his history was in these action adventure stories. So like in that regard, the supernatural stuff is sort of a break from his tradition. And you know, I still prefer the supernatural stuff though.
Yeah. What did you think about the cover?
Okay, so this is one of those that it
You
never,
didn't love it.
it never enticed me to read the book as a kid because I never read this book.
Do you have
It's
mummy issues?
there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just not. It doesn't grab me like some of his others do.
I mean, it's a mummy
Mm-hmm.
from behind a tomb, and it looks like the mummy has body odor.
Yeah, he does. I mean,
I mean, it's a lot of yellow, sulfur looking smoke coming up from him as he's coming out, which to me reads body odor.
yep,
He stinks. In the book, it actually references how much it stinks when the mummy's out. So
right.
fair.
Yeah, yeah.
Pharaoh.
Pheromones.
Apparently,
Yeah.
not good ones in this case.
Bro needs some Axe body spray. Not sponsored.
Right. It's a pretty cover. Like it's well done. It's solid. We know Tim had to kind of go off of a short log line, so yeah, it makes sense he would have a mummy coming out of a tomb because it's the return, or I'm sorry, return of the mummy. And so it makes sense. We see the use of the contrasting colors. So we've got like that robin's egg blue and the gold from the tomb, but a little pop of like the greenish yellow.
Yeah,
It
I
all works.
I do like that robin's egg blue and gold. Side by side. And then they chose a robin's egg to go with for the actual like book cover as well. I almost wish that instead of the green that they used around the Goosebumps logo, they had have gone with that gold just to, stick with the theme. I like the pops of light that you're seeing, like the reflection of something from the other side, although I don't know what that bright light would be from inside of
It's pink toned.
it is pink toned, yeah. Which, that's interesting.
Oh, that reminds me. In the TV episode, that made no sense to me. They like get pulled into this what's supposed to be an empty tomb, and yet the room has like teal backlighting
Yeah.
on like certain art pieces and then red lighting overhead. And I'm like, where the hell did all this come from? Where's all this lighting? It felt like they probably recorded inside of a museum.
Probably.
And all the lights are there, and it's like, you probably should have killed those.
I kept thinking about that while watching it. I was like, where'd this set come from? Because it was clever the way that they set it up so that he told you as he was writing in his diary that he was in Egypt. So they don't have to show any pyramids. They don't have to do any CG bullshit. It's all just caves. And they stuck with that through the whole episode, which I thought was good.
However, the light.
Yeah, that
And the fact that it was very clear, like the red lighting overhead was reflecting off of things, and the turquoise or whatever light on the back tomb thing. I'm like, hold up, where's that coming from? But it's a magical place.
Yeah. Well, maybe like that red light, the pink or whatever that we're seeing in this book cover is the exit sign for the.
Exit this way, guys. Tour's over.
Yeah. Yeah. Not one of my favorites.
It's a fun one, but given some of his other covers that have a lot more going on and a lot more like vibrancy, and not in terms of the colors, but just like what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot more elements in some of his other covers that make it, like you said, a bit more of a draw.
Yeah.
This very straightforward, not as appealing as some of his other ones.
Yeah. The mummy work is good though. Like the bandage wraps and everything. I like that. But
I mean, it looks
agree.
like a legit sarcophagus too.
Mm-hmm. I'd be curious to see what his like inspiration was for this.
The face is probably someone he knows.
Right?
Given what we learned.
That's true.
And did you find his signature?
I did, yeah. Hidden down in the
corner.
under the hand.
It would have been so fun, though, if he had figured out a way to make it like part of the hieroglyphics.
Yeah. Oh, man. That would be cool.
Yeah. Well, overall, would you recommend this book? Or would you say,
More than the first one, but not really. I mean,
yeah,
I'd recommend the last 30 pages. What about
skip
you?
ahead, guys. Just skip ahead. I mean, it was fun. If you're looking for a fun little adventure, sure, give it a go. But if you're looking for a bit more of the like spooky natured stuff,
yeah,
go to the next.
Yep.
The nice thing with these books is they all tend to be standalone unless they're within that world. So unless you're reading another mummy book, you can probably skip these and go to the ones that appeal to you.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that we get more with Gabe and Seti, at least in the classics line. I don't know if there are other mummy books in the Goosebumps mythos, but I don't know if, I don't know. That if not, then that's pretty much confirmation. Gabe did.
That's all, folks. I mean, he did get bit by scarabs, so, or the assumption is it's a scarab, so.
Yep.
Bye, Gabe.
Bye forever.
Bye forever. Bye forever, pals. Maybe he's the next mummy.
Ooh.
Uncle Ben has to make him into a mummy to revive him because that's the only way he's going to get him back.
Ooh, that's a fun story.
That's a horror story.
Yeah.
Very Pet Cemetery style.
Right. I was thinking Frankenstein, yeah. Pet Cemetery.
Because he didn't piece them back together. He wrapped them up and said, come back to life.
That's right.
It's love. So speaking of skipping ahead, what is our next book?
Great segue. The next book is...
It's like I've done this.
The next book is book number 24, Phantom of the Auditorium.
Released October of 1994. And this one's a little longer than the last one. So hopefully we'll get something meaty to sink our teeth into.
Yes. And there appears to be an episode for this one as well, which surprises the shit out of me for some reason. But here we are. I know nothing of this book. I don't remember this one. I barely remember the cover for this one. So I'm excited to see what I think of it.
I remember this one. So I'm excited to read it again to see if I still like it.
Cool.
I was a big fan of Phantom of the Opera. So when I was younger and I saw Phantom of the Auditorium, I'm like, ooh, it's like Phantom of the Opera Jr.
We'll have to see if we go 300 Jr. on Phantom of the Opera Jr.
Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Because he's there inside my mind. All right. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to Listeners Beware, a podcast about all things Goosebumps. Are you looking for more spooky podcast content? Check out 3 Haunted Podcast, where Ashley and friends talk about all things to give you goosebumps.
And if you feel like getting retro, you can find more from me at the Wax Nostalgic Network, available on YouTube and wherever podcasts are available. Also, feel free to drop us a line via email at listenersbewarepodcast@gmail.com and follow our various social media channels by searching Listeners Beware.
Until next time. Here we go.
Ready, steady, go. Shit. I forgot I changed the document. Okay.
So you start a show.
Yeah. Shit. Agreed. And I don't think we get more with Gabe and Sari or Seti. Let me take that again.
Sorry, Seti.
I don't. Sorry, Seti. And then the scarabs that they used in the episode, I'm pretty sure were just cockroaches with like saddles or something put on them, like to make them look a little different.
Could you imagine the art department? Like, hey, we need you to get some cockroaches and put a saddle. Or actually, they're just like, we need you to get a cockroach and make it look like a scarab. And art department's like staring at the cockroach, like, put a saddle on it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. A saddle.
Yeah, it wasn't a saddle, but there was like something on it that like looked a little different. But you know what?
I like the saddle, though.
Saddle, yeah.
Because I just imagine them staring at it. Like, how do I... A saddle. They just fix. I'm a genius. It's a saddle.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then imagine trying to put a saddle on a cockroach. Like, hold still, saddle, you little sucker.
It's like, bro, stop it. That's my cockroach impression.
Bro, stop it.
It's really
I don't
good.
want a saddle.